ABC News White House correspondent, and she is living with us these days here on the Big 550 KTRS. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning.
So Donald Trump responded, and his response gaining a lot of criticism around the country. What's going on?
Yeah, the president over the weekend weighing in on the London attack before, the traditional expressing solidarity and support for the people of Britain, talking about the politics of this, saying that this is a reason to reinstate the travel ban as an extra level of safety. He also seemed to go after the mayor of London, who over the weekend had said that Londoners will see an increased police presence over the next few days and said no reason to be alarmed. President taking issue with that and tweeting that with 7 dead and 48 wounded, the mayor of London says there's no reason to be alarmed. The two of them have had a public history of sparring. Earlier this year, Mayor Khan called the president's travel ban cruel and shameful, so this is kind of escalating their war of words. But the president is really pivoting from this attack and keying in on the travel ban. He was on quite a bit of a tweet storm this morning, talking about why this should be put in place immediately. He called the court slow and political. And here's an interesting thing. There seems to be this disconnect between the president, who signed that second travel ban, the revised executive order, and today he was blasting the Justice Department, saying they should have stayed with the original one, not the, quote, watered down, politically correct version. But that's the one he signed.
The other thing, too, is they've been painstakingly trying to avoid the phrase travel ban,
Yes.
and he's now tweeting about the travel ban. Explain that.
Yeah, 3 times out of the 4 tweets today. And in fact, one of the tweets says, people, the lawyers, the courts can call it whatever they want, but I'm calling it what we need and what it is, a travel ban. And, this has played out in all of these lower courts in Hawaii, in Maryland, in Seattle over the last couple of months, where the challengers are using the president's words, the statements from the campaign trail, the statements on the campaign website, what he has said and tweeted as president, as the argument for why this violates various parts of constitutional law, the Establishment Clause, and that it's targeting Muslims. This can't be something that the Justice Department lawyers are happy to wake up to this morning when they see their email.
Has anybody made the point in the White House, or anybody responded to the point that if the travel ban were in effect, it would have no effect on this incident Saturday night in London, because
Right.
they're not that it's
Right.
not a banned country, and they were there. So I mean, it really would have no effect on what happened.
Certainly not. And, when the White House has pointed to other terror attacks here in the United States with homegrown attackers, it wouldn't have applied there either, based on where people were born or where they originally came from. And, of course, we've asked that question, and you presented very logically of this wouldn't matter. And the White House just goes back to the talking point that the president sticks to of this will help keep America safe.
Yeah.
I should note that last week the administration did ask the Supreme Court to reinstate it, to temporarily stay the lower court rulings. We're waiting to see how that plays out. They need 5 votes for that to happen.
So we're waiting for the Supreme Court to respond to that.
Yeah, to weigh in if they're going to just allow that temporary, the stay, which would go into effect immediately. But if that doesn't happen, the administration wants this to be on an accelerated schedule. They want the court to hear this quickly, but quickly still means the fall term in October, because they waited till last week to do it. I mean, for all the urgency we were hearing in January and February, it certainly has taken quite some time for them to put this up to that level.
Karen Travers, Thursday, all eyes are going to be on the testimony with James Comey. What are you hearing, and what is the White House doing to get ready for that testimony, if anything?
Counter-programming is what the plan is right now. We do not expect that the president would invoke executive privilege to try and prevent Comey from testifying. That would be pretty explosive politically. That said, he's got a couple days. We'll see what the president does. That's ultimately up to him. But the White House is calling this Infrastructure Week, and they're holding events. The president's traveling to Ohio on Wednesday, inviting mayors and governors to the White House on Thursday to try and at least keep some focus on a policy agenda. But as they're doing that to counter-program the anticipation of Comey's testimony, the president, with these tweets about the travel ban, puts that back as the headline for the day.
Any comment on the Putin interview with Megyn Kelly last night on NBC?
No, the White House has not. I'm not sure who had asked about that, but I have not seen anything yet.
Karen Travers, thanks for checking in.
Thanks.
6:55.